When the billionaire heiress screamed on Fifth Avenue, traffic stopped. She was barefoot, trembling in a silk dress, mascara streaming down her face as she clutched a cracked phone and cried. "She's gone. My mother's dead, and it's my fault." A crowd gathered, phones recording, sirens wailed, and then, from the smoke and noise, a man in grease-stained coveralls stepped forward. He didn't film her. He didn't judge. He simply asked, softly, "Hey, can you breathe?" Before I tell you what he did next, and how that question changed her entire life. Backhand index pointing right. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles for more real, emotional stories that prove one act of kindness can change everything. Now, let's go back 3 weeks earlier. Chapter 1, The Heiress Who Had Everything But Air. New York City's skyline glittered like a crown that belonged to one woman, Victoria Holden, the so-called Ice Queen of Wall Street. She ruled the markets with a stare that could freeze the Nasdaq. Her face graced Forbes covers, her words moved billions. Her daughter, Ava Holden, was her shadow, beautiful, brilliant, and brittle. At 24, Ava had graduated from Harvard Business, interned at her mother's hedge fund, and learned the art of not feeling. She was told emotions were weakness. That tears were for amateurs. That love was a liability. So she learned to smile like her mother, tight, professional, controlled. Until one morning, in the glass tower of Holden Capital, her control cracked. Ava had been presenting quarterly numbers when her mother interrupted sharply. "You missed the hedge on the Asian derivatives. That's a rookie mistake." Ava blinked. "Mom, I double-checked." "Don't call me Mom. It's Victoria in this building." The room went silent. Ava's throat tightened, but she managed, "Yes, Victoria." Her mother turned away coldly. "You'll stay until it's fixed." Hours later, Ava sat alone under fluorescent lights, staring at spreadsheets that swam before her eyes. She hadn't eaten. She hadn't slept. That night, when her mother left, Ava overheard her tell her assistant, "She's not ready. I built this empire alone. I'll probably have to do it alone again." Something inside Ava snapped. She wanted to scream. To run. But she did what she always did, she buried it. Chapter 2, The Mechanic and the Meltdown. 3 weeks later, it all came apart. Ava was supposed to meet her mother for lunch at the plaza. Victoria was late, as usual. Ava waited, sipping espresso with a trembling hand. Her phone rang. Unknown number. "Miss Holden? This is Lenox Hill Hospital. I'm afraid we have bad news." By the time Ava reached the hospital, Victoria Holden was gone, massive cardiac arrest in a board meeting. The woman who never stopped controlling had finally lost control. Ava stood frozen beside the hospital bed, staring at the stillness of the woman who had terrified and defined her. And then, without warning, she began to gasp. Her chest tightened, her vision blurred. Panic thundered through her veins. The doctor thought she was hyperventilating. But Ava's mind was collapsing. "She's gone. She's gone. And I never said sorry. I never said I loved her." She stumbled out into the street. The city spun. Her heels clattered against concrete as she ran, blind with tears, until she fell, right there on Fifth Avenue. And that's where it happened. Where she screamed, "It's my fault." And where a stranger stopped everything by asking, "Can you breathe?" He was a mechanic, Eli Brooks, 32, from Queens. He'd been driving a tow truck back from a job when he saw the commotion. He didn't know who she was. He just saw a woman breaking apart in the middle of the street. He knelt beside her, his hands rough but gentle. "Hey, look at me. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Like this." He breathed slowly, exaggeratedly, so she'd copy. Ava sobbed, shaking uncontrollably. I can't. Yes, you can. Just breathe with me. That's it. They sat there, two strangers, surrounded by sirens and phones. And for the first time in her life, Ava didn't care who saw her cry. When she finally caught her breath, Eli said softly, "You okay?" She whispered, "No. My mom just died." He nodded. "Then don't try to be okay yet." Those words, so simple, so human, broke something open in her. Everyone else told her to fix herself. He told her she didn't have to. Eli offered to drive her home. She didn't want to go back to the glass tower, so she asked, almost desperately, "Can you just drive anywhere?" He did. They drove for hours through Brooklyn, past his auto shop, past parks, over bridges. She listened to his quiet stories about fixing engines for single moms, about dropping out of school to care for his little sister with asthma. He told her, when she couldn't breathe, I'd sit by her bed and do it with her. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Sometimes, that's all you can do for someone, just breathe with them. Ava stared out the window. "You sound like you've got life figured out." He chuckled. "Nah. Just figured out what matters." A week later, Ava returned to her mother's office to sign papers and face the vultures. Reporters, lawyers, board members, they all wanted something. But she noticed something strange. Her mother's office, the one that had always been spotless, now smelled faintly of motor oil. She followed the scent to a locked drawer. Inside was a worn leather notebook. On the first page, in Victoria Halden's sharp handwriting, was a name. Eli Brooks, owed $12,000. Ava blinked. What? Flipping through the pages, she found old notes. Victoria had once owned the garage where Eli worked, before closing it down during a merger. Apparently, Eli's father had begged for more time to pay off a business loan, but Victoria's firm foreclosed. His father died soon after. Ava's stomach twisted. Oh my God, my mother ruined his life. And now that same man had saved hers. She drove to the auto shop, heart pounding. Eli was under a car, oil streaked on his arms. When he saw her, he smiled in surprise. "Hey, Wall Street girl. Breathing better today?" She handed him the notebook. "You knew, didn't you? About my mom." He hesitated. "Yeah. I recognized the name when I saw you. But grief's grief. Didn't matter who you were." She swallowed hard. "I don't know how to repay you." He shrugged. "You don't owe me anything. Just, don't forget to breathe." Tears welled in her eyes. "You don't understand. My mom destroyed your family's business. You could have hated me." Eli smiled faintly. "Maybe I did, once. But hate's just holding your breath forever. Forgiveness? That's the exhale." Weeks passed. Ava sold her mother's penthouse and moved to Brooklyn. She volunteered at Eli's garage, sweeping floors, learning to fix engines, and finally learning what her mother never taught her. That people are worth more than profits. She started a foundation with her inheritance, the Halden Brooks Fund for Small Business Recovery, quietly paying off debts her mother had caused. And sometimes, at sunset, when life got heavy again, Eli would remind her. "Come on, rich girl. In through your nose, out through your mouth." And she'd laugh. Because for the first time, she wasn't suffocating. Final scene, emotional resolution and hook tieback. Months later, Ava stood in front of a group of young entrepreneurs at a community event, sharing her story. "How did I go from panic attacks on Fifth Avenue to running a foundation?" she said, smiling. "It started when a mechanic taught me how to breathe." In the audience, Eli leaned against the wall, arms folded, grease on his hands, pride in his eyes. He mouthed, "Still breathing?" She nodded.